stream here on YouTube. Just going to have a look this morning at showing you some of the footage from our club sprint race series that took place on Wednesday night. The club race series is a series of 5 short sprint races in 5 different cars. The idea is to simulate what would be normally be a club race weekend at one track, with the idea that the drivers are competing for an overall championship in all 5 categories, or just within one particular car or one particular series. And that way we can have drivers specialize in one particular car, or kind of who is the most adaptable driver in our driver roster. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 clips to show you for the joy of Project Cars 2. Wasn't able to save the full 5 races, but we do have got 2 races to show you. There's the Ginetta GT5 Cup and footage of the Formula Rookie event. So we'll jump into the GT5 series and wait for this to load up for you guys. As mentioned, this is a racing series that happens on Wednesday, 7 p.m. BST is the start time. We get people in the lobby, practice sessions for each of the cars, and then we jump out and do a short 12 to 15 minute sprint race depending on the car and its capabilities. In this series, the setups are locked default setups, so you can only have the loose or stable setup. But these cars have been carefully selected so that they're open to all new drivers and experienced drivers. You get a little bit of everything from the cars. The first round is the GT5s, as mentioned, and then we go on to the Formula Renault. No, sorry, my apologies. It's the Formula Rookie, not Formula Renault. The third round is Group 4, which has the Porsche, Ferrari, and the M1 Pro car. Round 4, the fourth race is in the vintage Lotus 25. That's a fantastic car to drive. The graphics on that car are phenomenal, especially around such a bumpy circuit like here at Ruapana Park Club circuit. And the final race, we then go into the more modern RS01, the Renault RS01, the V6. Just a bit more pace, especially on a tricky, tight circuit like this. All these grids, there is no qualifying. We go straight from practice, straight into the race. So random grid orders. As you can see here, our championship leader in our other categories, Ambient and Inter, 2 of the front runners actually put at the front of the grid here for this race. Only 8 drivers. The early start, a little bit of an early start. People with obviously parental issues and got evenings on the go. That's fine. We're not the type of league who's going to chastise you for turning up a little bit late or missing races. That's the idea of this club format. If you don't like a particular car, you don't have to race it. That's absolutely fine. And you can sit it out, you can sit and watch, free to stream, let your friends know, everything else, and jump in. You can see there's also team members as well, so we run in teams of 2, Ambient, Stub, and a Lord of Lincoln here, running in the same liveries there in the team. Enter all sorts here. His teammate was not able to make the race, but you'll see him later on in the Formula Rookie, who's an absolute whiz on a Lotus 25 as well. That's his specialism in these night's races. Wayne, my teammate here, we're both in the black and yellow owl livery. Ice Dude and A8 Ball. You might hear me mention to Mikey A8 Ball. Mikey's alter ego A8 Ball. And then we have Jeff Spencer, who's currently our only independent driver in the grid, who'll be looking for a teammate. He's in the 24, no regrets livery. So without further ado, let's have a look at the footage. We've got 14 minutes or so of the footage here, the GT5s. Let's see what occurred in race 1 of the Club Race Series. So as we're watching drivers get away, these cars, a lot of power initially, but they bog down as they get us to start, as cars going 4 wide here. The weather settings across these races, again mentioned, simulate the actual race weekend. So here we're early in the morning. It's hazy here at Ruapana Park. We see, I think that's a car running wide in the background there. That's Lord of Lincoln, and Nafbit has joined him as well at the back of the grid. 2 drivers following each other off the track there. Let's jump back to the front as we see Ambient Stub all over the back of Inter. Inter's taking the lead, and there's absolute chaos happening further back. Nice clean racing between the 8 drivers. Both drivers taking a deep line into the hairpin as we cut round into the sweeping S's section. A nice banked corner here at the Marshall post. Ambient all over the back of Inter. at the end of lap 1. 12 laps of this race will get you 14 minutes of racing. And start up first lap. There's Inter with a whisk in front of Ambient. Jeff Spencer in third. As we come around the final corner, Wayne has got him in hot pursuit there. He's got Ice Dude, Mikey behind, an 8-ball, Nathbit, and Lord of Lincoln recovering from that earlier incident. Has Ambient been able to get round Inter after the first lap? No, he's dropped back a little bit actually. Closed up on the apex corner, but then loses momentum on the exit. Very tricky left-hand kink here. Very easy to run wide this next corner. I'll get you a slowdown penalty. Here at Fresh Sim Racing, we run with damage on, mechanical damage on, so it's as realistic as we can try and get it. Even though we're all sat at home or whereabouts on our pretend racing drivers. Some drivers amateur, some not so amateur. Look back a bit further down the field. These first 2 drivers are broken away, but now there is a 5-car battle. Lord of Lincoln catching up as well. 5-car battle coming in to what is effectively third place. It's the white car of Jeff Spencer, followed by Wayne in the yellow car, and then the 2 green Makuda cars of Ice and Mikey or 8-ball, sorry. Nathbit in the yellow. Lord of Lincoln following in the red car, but Nathbit getting a bit of a run here on the outside of 8-ball. Can he make this move coming into the first corner? Very tricky corner. It's a kink of a left and then tightens into a very nice hairpin. Nathan running wide. No, Mikey defends there. Great defending. What about Wayne further up? He's under pressure now from Ice Dude. Having a look at this left-hand kink. Will he be able to get a good run down into the hairpin? The lights and the graphics of these cars running 7 o'clock in the morning here. Hazy as Wayne takes a dive to the inside. Oh, what a great move. Can he hold it around the outside? Wayne has got the position. A little bit of rubbing there with Jeff Spencer. And that's Ice Dude behind as well. He's through. As Mikey's gone a little bit off circuit there. He's now battling with Lord of Lincoln in the back. And a little bit of a moment there as the cars went off camber around that tricky sequence of corners. 3 wide into the final corner here, and looking around the outside of Jeff Spencer, who's defended very stoutly there. Good line from Jeff Spencer. Lost 2 places on that final lap. That lap just gone, but still fighting. The front 2 runners are out of the way of the pitch at the minute as Nathan looks to the inside line, takes a dive through Jeff, and a absolute dive bomb on Ice Dude there, and oh, that's got to be instant karma. Definitely instant karma. Look at the damage on that car. That's what happens when you take a dive bomb into an airpin, folks. It's not going to end well. Thankfully, the other 2 drivers not too badly effective. Jeff Spencer did a fantastic job to not take up too much damage and avoid most of the issues there. That's put Lord of Lincoln back in the run in here in 3rd, and Wayne is up in that 3rd place position as we're watching Jeff and that's 8-ball battling it out for 4th position. Yeah, so something we like to do at Fresh Sim Racing is to give you the more realistic feel. These are the cars that are happening right at dawn, 7 o'clock in the morning. It's hazy. You'll see the future races. It happens a little bit later on as we watch a car dive into the pits there for some repairs. I think that is Ice Dude. And Nathbit's in there as well with some heavy damage. Well, it looks like the graphics have repaired some of that damage, to be honest. Well, that's not a good moment there. He's just clipped the wall. Let's jump and watch our leaders. The second race happens at the game time of about 10 a.m. in the morning, and then further rest of the season you get up through the day. You end up in the afternoon, and then the final races in the evening as the sun is beginning to set. So you have to deal with the temperature changes throughout the day as well as the weather changes, and we also like to do across the season. So this is the start of the season. This is autumn in New Zealand, which will be spring in Europe and Northern Hemisphere, and that will go through winter and autumn. Summer, winter, and autumn throughout the season. Ambient having a look on the inside of Inter. Nothing between these 2 guys at the halfway point. Front 2 runners riding 1st and 2nd, less than half a second between them. It's been very much the case for half the race so far. Wayne is in third. He's got 5 seconds on Lord of Lincoln. It's a fantastic race for Wayne. If I put my teeth back in, fantastic race for Wayne here in third. Taking advantage of a relatively clean start and keeping himself out of trouble. Lord of Lincoln, who ran wide, is playing catch up. He's in fourth, being chased by 8 Ball behind. That gap's closing up. There's a little bit of gap there to Jeff Spencer, you can see in the background. And after the pit stop tragedy, there's iStude and Nafbit trying to recover the back of the grid. Let's jump back out to the front as the battle between Ambient Stub and Inter continues as we come on to lap 7. Now our leader, Inter All Sorts, in the yellow and black pay livery and the red and black livery for Ambient Stub. Very interesting, different lines between these two drivers. So coming through into the kink of the left-hander down to the hairpin. Has Ambient Stump got to run out of the corner to be able to take a move? No, it takes that wider line. The club circuit here at Ruapana, it cuts back onto this right-hander, into another sweeping left-hander, and then into the very heavily banked right-hander here at the Marshall post. As Ambient gets a really good run off that post, he's closing into All Sorts down into the final corner. Very easy to understand on this very open hairpin left-hander. In fact, Ambient has got a run here. He's closing down into moving out of the way of the slipstream. Experienced drivers here know the slipstream very strong in this game, as well as the side draft. As Ambient takes a move up the inside into turn 1, and Inter looks to fight back. There's still a bit of debris on that corner from the incident with Nathbit after that dive bomb. It's very interesting, the graphics have kept that on there. As Inter takes back control of the lead on lap 8, it's starting to pull a little bit of Ambient as it comes to braking. Not much happening throughout the rest of the field. Mikey is up to 4th, 8 Ball is up to 4th now, but still a 5 second gap, 5-6 second gap to Wayne in 3rd. So he's got a lot to accompany through the next, with 3 laps to go, 3.5 laps to go. Needs to find a second or so a lap to be able, over a second a lap to catch up and take that 3rd place. Lord of Lincoln is settled in 5th, Jeff Spencer's in 6th, and iStude and Nafbit recovering still after that collision. So I do think Nafbit is closing the gap on iStude. Some a little bit. Just keep an eye on that on the top left of the screen. See if that comes to anything. Let's have a look at what cameras this we've got to offer here. We'll jump between on boards with Ambient Stub into starting to pull a little bit of gap now. That 0.3 seconds has now gone up to 0.7, 0.8, so it's closing up to seconds. We're looking to close on one of the back markers here. It is a 1 minute lap time, so yeah, these front runners will be starting to catch up the guys who had incidents early and had to pit for repairs. It's a 7-second gap now for Wayne to Lord of Lincoln, as Mikey must have had another incident. A bit further down, Lord of Lincoln is back ahead. These two are battling, very similar to the guys out front at the minute as Ambient's closing up, but this is on board with A8 Ball all over the back of Lord of Lincoln as he pokes his nose in around the Marshall post. No way through just there. As you can see, this very tricky long left-hander. It's an hairpin, but it's not as you would take a normal hairpin. You have to hold through and make sure you get a good run out of the final corner. If you look back at the front runners still closing that gap. They're lapping 2 seconds or so faster than the rest of the field. I mean, Ambient Stub with a 102.997 last lap out. That was a phenomenal time. But there's no way through the leader at the minute. Inter is defending stoutly. They're very close to each other as they come along the back straight. Jump on board here, Ambient. It takes a look at the inside. Inter closes the door as he has right to do. Takes his natural line into turn 1. Runs a tiny bit wide though. I wonder if the debris on the left on the corner had anything to do with that, or just the pressure from Ambient Stub. These two have been battling for 11 laps now. Ambient Stub takes that very deep wide line whilst Inter defends, and this gives them a really good run through this tricky vest. As you can see now, the camber on that inside corner at the Marshall post as it then goes over the hill to Creston's super left-hander. This also very easy to get out of shape here on this left-hander onto this final corner. The contrasting lines again, trying to get the most out of the speed difference as these drivers are coming onto the final lap. We have it's Inter starts lap 12 in first with Ambient Stub half a second behind. Wayne 25 seconds behind, a bit of a gap now. He's having a nice quiet comfortable race, and barring a massive mistake he should take third. As we look, Ambient takes a nose on the inside, gets a bit of curb, and that has put him out of contention for the race win surely. That's Inter driving away to victory. Wayne is on his final lap now. He's in third. Lord Lincoln 3 seconds behind. Mikey is a couple of seconds behind Lord Lincoln. It'll be close on the final lap here. Jeff Spencer, he's had a really good race. An incident with Nathbit. Nathbit took an awful dive bomb around this corner coming into turn 2, the airpin. Ice 2 was also part of that, took a bit of damage. He's further down the grid. Speaking of Nathbit, here he is, he's 3 seconds behind. Just and the final lap as Inter takes the victory in race 1 of the GT5 Cup. 7 seconds ahead of of Ambient, apologies, in second. There's a bit of a gap now to Wayne in third. But jump on board with Nathbit closing in on Ice 2. 3 seconds the gap at the start of the lap. Into the king left-hander. You watch the cars go nice and sideways through there, able to drift through these corners. Ice Dude ran wide. It's put Nathbit in a position to gain now. As Wayne comes across the line in third place, 2 seconds to Lord of Lincoln in fourth. Mikey straight behind in fifth. Jeff will be following up in sixth there, as we now keep an eye on Nathbit and Ice Dude closing up to finish the grid as they come around the final corner. Ice Dude takes that wide line. Nathbit getting a bit sideways as we come under the final straight. It's so close between these two drivers, and Nathbit clips it at the line. And that was really close between the two drivers. That was race 1. Very interesting race, very short race. That's the idea of the sprint race here. We'll keep it nice and short, and get used to these cars. And we'll move on to the Formula Rookies. Although I do believe my my replay has frozen here, so you have to bear with me whilst there'll be a pause for the stream.